Jumei versus Tito for the Digibaybalde special. Okay, so this is a news bulletin for fucking mood tunes, like really for everything like that has to do with this Mood Network, and you have to understand that literally. This is an update. This is also gonna be like, kind of like a profile video. This is a story that's requested by two of my family members who really impacted me a lot. One, literally, my Uncle Jay and Uncle Sonny, Uncle Jay, Uncle Sonny, whatever, or Kris, Itachi, Jet, whatever. Some people call Kris Jet, They're both gonna have some heavy haymakers and Mama Chi-Chi, definitely like literally a fucking, a quick sample of stuff. Me, freaking, my mom and my brother were arguing at a restaurant and shit, and literally, he started talking to me after we just bought our drinks and shit, so I was drinking a strawberry lemonade, literally, and so literally, I was drinking at the restaurant, and so literally, me and my brother just got into an argument, and she's all like, Eris, why aren't you talking to Kris? And then I keep sipping my drink. So he wanted to share a story in order to accept the Make-A-Wish Foundation for Nerds about how he felt the day where I caught him off guard when he was drunk, when he tried to make fun of me. So basically he wanted me to make a story about how he felt that he had a similar fight that I kept on beating myself up, after, Lily's this and that, like Lily, oh, what am I doing? I let this internet reputation get to my head. He threw me a lot of pizza parties and stuff like that, even though I was growing up, even though it was critical for me to Lily get a job on my own, Lily, he kept on pampering me and stuff, which is what the reality was. But freaking, it's not bad to fucking enjoy yourself. Me and him used to always fucking go to New York Pizza back at my old spot, and then I come out, literally, he helped me all the time to group home, and then I leave knots in his head in a fight and shit. Even though he provoked me, I'm like, damn, he did all that work at the group home and shit. But at the same time, that was the problem. You get what I'm saying? But fucking, this is the story about how he felt about it. He told me that he got in a fight with one of his friends that was equal to strength like me during that fight, but that was back when he was in his prime. And what happened is he misjudged me, so I'm gonna go into detail later on in the video. This is requested. My uncle said that he wanted to say something in this video too, so this is requested. My brother literally wanted to say that he got into a fight with a friend that was just as strong as me that day, and that this is nothing, don't feel bad and stuff like that. I tried to be a gamer. I used to get into fights all the fucking time and stuff like that. I'm the guy who used to fight the pit bull in order to protect you and stuff like that. I used to portray that. I was that strong, but I would still make immature decisions, and he wanted me to say that later on in the video. So back to the matter at hand. So Jumei gets her own intention for the Digibaybalde Dodge movie, and C challenges Tito to a fight, and they're gonna start talking shit. Literally, it's like, it's your move, Casanova. I'm like, Jumei, now's not the time. So that's a really quick update for Nas and Lily. I got back to my groove of my original writing style. It's really cold. So Lily, there's a whole lot of other stuff that's really down to earth and confirmed from Nas, So if you want to know who Orbit is just like a nerd fanboy of Boomer. So Orbit is in the Kimi Gara supposed to. Orbit is a guy that wishes he was Boomer, and so he basically he writes everything in this little fucking sketch notepad and stuff like that. Lily, he writes little strategies. He's kind of like an Armin, Armin for Attack on Titan. He's a Boomer fanboy Armin in space, kind of like that. Okay, but he doesn't have blonde hair. He has fucking glasses with fucking buck teeth and shit. Literally, that's who Orbit is. Fucking Orbit is a little nerd who tries to be like Boomer. So so that's how the original Nas literally goes. And so that's why I love the fact that I'm back in my new groove again. I love it. McFlurry and Slushy, McFlurry is the stand user, freaking McFlurry, literally freaking McFlurry is a superhero of Slushy and shit. Slushy is really fucking hard, and literally, that's literally fucking that classic Dragon Ball feel. Yeah, we're gonna go there really a lot. We're gonna have Sherbert fight Gingivitis, we're gonna have a whole lot of other shit, the Lacey McDonald arc is gonna be cool. So if you wanna know, literally freaking, there is non-special that's going to be based off a music video more than the actual, movie by movie comparison. But if you want a double whammy special of a really good fucking movie that I felt was an underrated concept that had a really shitty design, so I'm gonna give you, since we're talking about underrated in this video already, I was watching this movie called Two Brothers. If you guys know, my favorite animals is the tiger, and the tiger literally is one of my favorite representations of me as a person and how I feel about this world. Literally, how the tiger is misunderstood. Everybody wants to be a lion, but nobody wants to be a tiger. I used to always look at tigers like tigers look so much more real cool. And like literally, I learned later on that they're actually stronger than lions. The only reason why they can't beat lions is because lions are more agile and stuff. And I really learned that over time. It really fucking sucked. Like literally. So what happened was this. It was a movie about one of my favorite animals, two brothers and stuff like that. It's like it was a basic plot. Like literally, they went to a fucking circus, and one was a circus. Like literally, two brothers. Like literally, one tiger had their mom killed. They were brothers of a mom. Their mom got shot by like Americans and shit to make fucking boots out of their fur and shit. And so like literally fucking the two brothers literally fucking one ended up in a normal household and got adopted in a mansion, and the other one like ended up in a circus. I thought it was a really good plot, man. It lacked dialogue, and it was really crazy. So I tried talking to Uncle Jay. I'm like, hey Uncle Jay, I was actually watching a movie instead of an anime the other day, and he's like, it starred two tigers, and like one went to a circus. He's like, oh, what, you mean that one movie did he end up fighting in the gladiator arena? He's like, man, that was a weak ass movie. And at that point, you need to absorb this lesson. All anime fans, absorb that lesson. At that point, no matter how good the plot is, if the execution is complete shit like that, you see the problem with that is that's really fucking predictable, and that's what people call gay. And in order to fucking appeal to people, you can't come off as surprising. That's why you can deliver something that's not clever, but if you deliver it in a surprising way, it's a form of reverse psychology. And that's a whole lot of other shit, like Lily. But there's no way around it. That movie sucked ass, but I had a really good idea. So like literally, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give that movie substance. I'm gonna make a movie that's based off Dio, Vonnie, and Ditto as the two brothers, referencing one of my favorite albums. That's gonna be one Nas movie, like literally, with really good aspects. So if you wanna know, this new storyline where Obi Chiro and Obi Jaden. So Obi Jaden doesn't have the original drip and jump force. We changed his drip up. He's gonna look just like Obito and Jaden, like the Supreme King Jaden and literally Dark Obito, tall Dark Obito, Renegon Sharingan, shit like that, the Supreme King eyes and shit. So Obi Jaden and Obi Chiro are actually brothers and shit. And I don't know if they should face up against Dio, Vonnie, and Ditto for this two brothers, spin-off movie. So Dio, Vonnie, and Ditto are going to kill like two brothers, and so that's gonna be really cool. So so that's the premise of this video. So let's go into the other confirmation. Okay, so we all know Ashley from junior high and shit. So I'm gonna make another video about how if go into detail, Jaylene and Ashley want me to go into complete detail about how they already wanted to go out with me, by how Justin and everybody else is card blocking me and shit. Literally fucking, so they want me to make a video about that, and literally a little fucking toy that they use that's really fucking stupid to me. I hate talking about this shit, but it actually is a fucking toy that you can fucking use. It's kind of like a computer generator, a fucking template. This is a machine that you can use in real life that literally gives you your own fucking, it creates templates for you. What it is like fucking, a fucking website template. It gives you a website template and it goes on Scramble, and you can do whatever with the fucking website, but catch right too, it's just a website. Literally, you can make this shit pizzazz. So imagine you having the power to make mood tunes, make a mood tunes at will and entertain yourself, like how I entertain myself with mood tunes and shit like that. So I'm gonna make a video about that the other day. There's gonna be a fucking a rundown about a fucking useless for fucking machine that it's made to make you look good and shit. Sorry, but literally fucking what happened was this. So literally fucking what happened was this. Literally, Ashley, my girl from junior high, literally wanted to say this and that. Literally, I don't want to literally go into detail about the fucking stupid ass machine that I have to make a video about. But anyway, fucking, she wanted to literally go into detail about how she was trying to go out me, about how they're using reverse psychology, this and that. So she wants her own fucking non-special. So literally, my favorite, Michael Jackson song. So we all have our favorite. My cousin's was, Human Nature. So mine is Remember the Time. So literally, we're gonna make a non-special based off the Remember the Time video. And the main, girl that's hooking up with Gabaya, the reference leader of this non-special is called Asharinda. It's a really good thing where I can incorporate a whole lot of other, aspects of that. I can make Hurricane Kick confirming it, some deserted characters and nods, some desert art users, some characters that are actually meant to be in the desert I can use for this non-specials. Literally, I can use some comedy aspects, literally, I can do a whole lot with this non-special. So, if you're asking, is Arturo confirmed for my manga? Yes, he is. He's definitely confirmed in Nons Times 2. He's confirmed in Nons Times 2 for a movie. I don't know former of the art for him, but his name is Artemis. So literally, Arturo is confirmed in a Nons Times 2 movie where he literally helps me fight the Platinum Boys based off the one Samurai Jack episode where Samurai Jack has to help the Spartans. So me, Arturo, aka Artemis. So Gabaya and Artemis are teaming up in order to fight literally alongside with the Platinum Boy Spartan. So literally, this is going to be, so Arturo is confirmed for Nons Times 2, the movie with the Platinum Boys. some more organic anime confirmations, like Synonym is the daughter of Kama Sensei, like some other shit, you know, there's a whole lot of shit that goes down there. But you know, we're not gonna go too far off from that. But like literally fucking, as far as arc ideas, I have a whole, you know, like bunch of like intertwined stuff. Like literally, so content like that is confirmed for the arcs now. You see how like literally I add extra characters, but it doesn't like really go too far from the continuity at all. So like literally, we are making that approach for like the new arcs now. So like literally, so there's this idea that I had that's literally out of my league. I don't want to ever like really do this, but like so what I might think of what happens in Non's time is Boomer might betray the Federation twice, because what happens in the original Non's, like literally he betrays the Federation, and literally what he does is literally he takes a specific item and he tries to bring it to Zofio, so they all have to team up to try to bring him down. So like literally what happens is this, so like literally fucking after like literally, and what happens during the time skip is literally freaking, you know, him and Gabaya go separate ways, so we're gonna go literally, so what happens is literally, once him and Gabaya are separating, literally Iroku Fuyaka, this is an alternate timeline that I could create, because one of my favorite scenes of Fairy Tail is when Makarov goes out of his way to bring Godzilla back to his guild. So Nons times 1 can be influenced by, at the end of the first Nons, we can literally go back to Hiroku Fuyaka like, you're a valuable member of the Federation. I would hate to see your talent go to waste. I don't want to do that. I can do that, but I can't. At heart, I would never want to do that, because literally Fairy Tail like literally is a downgrade for me compared to One Piece and Naruto, and like actually, you know like the Big P. I feel like it was like literally it was really a good anime, but that scene is literally inspired by Fairy Tail. Has nothing to do with that, but literally freaking, if Hiroku literally brings Boomer back to the village, it defeats the whole impactfulness of why Boomer had to leave in the first place. And so what happens is in Non-Stars 1 is literally he tries to do the same thing after we have Gingivitis arc, after we have all the major arcs from Baku Black Star and shit. And so after we have all those arcs in Non-Stars 1, the Kami High literally, so that's the whole point of Non-Stars 1 and Kami High. Kami High finally gets ready for the big city fight that literally defines the real fucking time skip. And so literally what happens is this, so Boomer literally finally does his Sasuke retrieval arc for the second time in Non-Stars 1 at the ending of Non-Stars 1 in order to prepare for Non-Stars 2. But that's totally irrelevant because of the meme users and shit. It takes away from the organic fucking plan of Nons. So how we gonna fit this in is literally we have to like literally make sure all that shit is irrelevant, like literally have him go through this and that, and literally have him betray Skittles just like Sasuke betrayed Sakura, and have literally Boomer leave Skittles in Non-Stars 1, and then we can go to Non-Stars 2. Like, yeah, it's beautiful if I were have already planned Skittles for the time skip. This shit is making Non-Stars 1 look like filler. And to be honest, this is something that I'm sure, so instead of doing that, I'm trying to honestly just involve like literally Lacey McDonald and do other shit like that. Like, I'm trying to make further arcs and Nons, like after shit, I make sure like Slushy doesn't come until like the 230s, like the 230s of Nons, like 230 episodes, 230 episodes, then we introduce Slushies, like shit like that, and have organic shit like Synonym and Karma happen like literally in between. That's my plan for Nons. Like, Funimation might have a different idea and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, Skittles is not, you know, she's 100% canon. We need Skittles, but, you know, her role can be very flexible, because I do have a plan for her in Nons Times 2. If you want to know a little bit about Nons Times 2, it's a way darker theme than the original Nons. Like literally everybody has a different character design. So let me give you our hint. There's a way that I can incorporate everybody into Nons Times 2, because you don't understand that literally Yumi Neji has a transformation that literally where she gets red fur, like Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So Yumi Neji is confirmed for the Rivulet special. So she's gonna go Super Saiyan 4 against Rivulet basically. She's gonna grow literally red fur. So Yumi Neji is going to go from an air scraper to an air glider to applying their flying technique like the fucking Turtle Hermit. So she's gonna skip steps and she's gonna go Super Saiyan 4 Yumi Neji basically. It's gonna be Yumi Neji literally with fucking red fur with her drip still on. And so we can definitely use that version of Yumi Neji in Nons Times 2. So I'm not lacking when it comes to this continuity stuff. And therefore she will basically be the Air Master. But anyway, let me go back to the actual story aspect of this video. So let's go into it like this. Lily, my brother used to have a white boy he used to hang out with named Country. So Country is really big, so my brother used to always tell me, I never let my fucking size really ruin my reputation. I make sure I stood up to those niggas first thing. Ernest, you tolerate bullshit on top of bullshit. You tolerate people talking shit to you and just act like you can just do your little fucking book and let everything fucking play out and shit. And you know what? He was right. What he's saying was actually organically really right. and shit like that. But in actuality, like literally shit like that, like literally, you have to understand, like literally, you have to have discipline, you have to have self-control, you have to be aware of your surroundings. Those are good things if he wasn't stretching it and trying to be like a dick about it. You get what I'm saying? Those are good fundamentals, but they're not something to stretch. He always tried to hang out. He always wanted to be just like Dabo and Bobby Law. He always wanted to be one of the higher ups. He always went to this and that. But you know what he always did? He always kept the conscience on them and stuff like that. Once he saw the Platinum Boys literally beating the fuck out of girls like Gorilla and shit, the Platinum Boys used to really, really brutally beat fucking girls. It's like Samopovich beat up Fidel. They used to actually do that. And my brother was aware of that. So that's why he wasn't tripping about girls back in the day. He's like, man, you tripping about girls, this and that. I know what they actually do to them and this and that. Literally, my brother had a lot of insight when he was younger. So basically what happened is literally he had this whole fucking Batman complex about him. He had his own view of life. He thought that everybody was a fucking scumbag. He's like, I don't care if my brothers have hella kids. I'ma stay on my path and I'ma get mine and stuff like that. Literally. And once you get older, you're like, you do realize they're still getting pussy, right? So literally what happened was this. So Country called him out on literally trying to be with fucking girl and stuff like literally. So my brother literally fucking green eyes and stuff like that. So our girl started to fire my brother, and my brother's like, what you mean? I know that bitch is a hoe and shit like that, literally this and that. So Country came up to my brother and they started really fucking fighting. So my brother was working out like literally being a head star in the basketball team, literally working out the Platinum Boys, and he finally got to put his fucking strength to the test. He finally got the spotlight. It was like me versus fucking Sabo, but really where it came to street knowledge and mainstream shit, literally fucking like literally Country was fucking literally hitting them, trying to slow him down and shit, and my brother was giving it to Country's face, and they were both fucking leaking from the face and shit. And Country's hella fucking big, and my brother's fucking short and stock, and he was flying through fucking corpses. They were punching each other like literally in the fucking alley, literally, and literally fucking literally. I'm like literally, my brothers were watching fucking boxing on HBO. I'm like, I would hate to be one of those guys, and my brother was like, I would love to be one of those guys on HBO. Like literally, probably this guy literally, and then my brothers go like, man, Eris, you don't know how fucking good it feels literally to get hit and then hit somebody back with humiliation. The same humiliation that was dealt with you, you can deal with somebody right back. You don't know how good that feels. And I never got that experience. Yeah, I never got that experience, but I had something even stronger. To where you're enjoying the moment together, to where you're literally, where you're just as competitive as you fighting fucking Country, but literally you're going all out. It's not at your expense. You get what I'm saying? Like literally, you gave yourself the best chance to win. Like me and Pierre played the best game of Storm. Literally, and dragged out for even longer. The only thing that stopped it from us dying was the fucking time limit. I'm talking about shit like that. It was a form of fucking love. It was a form of accepting instead of trying to be dominant of one another, literally. And I know that's really, really, really stronger over time, like literally, because that way nobody gets an ego, nobody gets fucking sticky, nobody, you know, literally gets anything out of it. Like literally, we both gain a fucking mutual benefit. So what him and Country did is they both proven that they were a privileged shinobi right then and there. My brother proven that he was with the Nas and Eminem and Blink-182 generation. He proven that he was one of literally amongst. He was definitely not a tuning at that point. He was a Joning, literally, but he forgot that he's still at the age of a tuning. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, literally, me, like my brother, literally, with this and that, so he kept on scoring me, like, literally, this and that, literally, you don't know that amazing fucking fight has. So what happened is Country bench 200, and my brother bench similar to that at the time, so he could take the hit, and he hit Country right back, so he had a scribble exchange, and guess what happened? Even though, literally, he gave Country a fucking third-degree fucking burn, he almost cracked Country's skull, but literally, Country almost broke his fucking ribs and shit like that, and that's why he gets this whole mentality. I know what your fucking temper tantrums are. It's like, they're fucking mean and shit like that. Dude, I'm a fucking little kid. I'm trying my best to be a good person, and you're not telling me right from wrong. You constantly allow me to slip instead of helping me back up. Instead like that. That's the reality of fucking situation and shit. You want me to think like you and pick yourself back up and get myself into unnecessary bullshit. Here's a certain thrill delivered to his lifestyle, but I recognize that that thrill was very unnecessary, and that you can learn how to get the same thrill doing different shit. But you know, that comes from time, that comes from maturity. He was under the influence in many ways and shit like that. Then he gained hella fucking respect for that fight right afterwards. All that pain and everything else was worth it. Like literally the perfect fucking movie effect that happened when you work hard to like literally be equal to everybody else. But when you grow up with like literally, guess what happened? The Platinum Boys, after hurting all those fucking girls, they had to move out of the area, dude. And so he worked so fucking hard, and literally they left him behind, and he still tried to apply the Platinum Boys literally way of living to me, literally stuff like that. It was like, why the fuck are you telling me about street knowledge while I'm writing comic books and shit? Literally, so literally, he was telling me about this, that he's like, you don't know the whole world out there, this, that. Imagine all that shit that he knows about fucking life, and that's the whole fucking, reason, like, literally, why they played this game, and that game, and that game, and that game, and shit like that, literally, how many fucking benefits, like, the in between, how complex life really fucking is, really scolding me, but literally, that was the wrong side of complexity in life. Literally, they can be, there's two sides of life that are complex than that. There's their elaborate street life and shit, but if you're, I'm not gonna go into that. If you're educated, like, literally, you understand how one-dimensional it is, because literally, freaking, like, literally, so what happened is he learned street smart, and he was always known as Moody. Hey, what's up, Moody? Moody, my brother, was really known for like leading Terry McGinnis of his fucking high school. I don't give a fuck about bitches. I don't give a fuck about you, because I know all you fucking niggas are dumb or that, but he still doesn't figure out what he wants to do with his life. Literally, he's the biggest contradiction. He criticizes other fucking people for literally fucking going out of their way of being pussy, but like literally going out of their way trying to get pussy and shit, but he doesn't know what he wants to do with his life himself. And he's living life every day thinking about mom and dad's divorce, thinking that is real shit, really dwelling in the days, literally, look what happened, like, literally, this, that, and my brother doesn't even know about this side, if you're really dwelling to himself. And once you get older, like, literally, all those thoughts are deep, but that's a loser. Instead of doing all that, like, literally, once you actually, like, expand, like, your palate, he tells me to expand my palate all the time, like, literally, think of the complex fucking ways that me and country fart, and how I gained all that shit with me and country. Yeah, that shit made complex, but that's very unnecessary. What he thought was complex was literally making it harder than things need to be, and you'll figure that out over time once you get into a whole bunch of fights and you realize that you can get girls just by being nice. So guess what happened the day that me and him fought? Literally, he was drunk and he tried to make the excuse that like literally this, that, literally, so like literally fucking, he tried to do the same thing. So guess what happened? It wasn't the fact that I beat him in a fight. So he wanted me to make this video. It wasn't the fact that you beat me in the fight. I had the same amount of injuries when I fought country, but it was the way that you fought. It was how I labeled you in my head versus how you executed your plan. What I tried to say and how I could back up my actions, so I tried to distract you with something different. Literally, I tried to call you out saying that you're not gonna do shit, that literally you're a little nigga, like literally you have a lot to learn and shit, and then you end up doing the same shit that country was doing to me in the fight. Literally, he wanted me to make this video to let me know, like literally, I'm working with you, like literally, they say that like literally, he already put his voice in information that he's about to voice Giovanni, literally, so like literally, like he's about to literally partially voice Giovanni, that he's about to fuse his voice, stuff like that, that he put his work in already, so like literally, we got his side of the bargain and stuff like that, we got his chip, so like basically, literally what happened was this, so like literally, so like he wanted me to make this video to let you know that literally fucking like when I hit him, it wasn't the fact that I bench 200 or anything, or I'm already used to hanging around gang members, platinum boys. I used to taking hit by platinum boys there and stuff like that, like literally fucking shit like that, like I'm used to all that shit, like literally, it wasn't the fact that you hit me hard, it was the humiliation I got from underestimating you. I still over here called you a little nigga saying that you're lost in life, that you still don't have a job and shit, and I call you out, and as soon as I try to hit you, you duck and throw a hook just like a professional in a fight. Like literally, I called you out saying that you didn't know what the fuck you were doing, that literally you're lost in life and there are other alternatives, and you stay over here do the most fucking logical decision while I try to call you out being an imbecile and shit. Literally, you fucking clowned me, and you clowned me the same way I clowned my country, and literally, I got in the same amount of injuries of country, but I didn't get the social benefit afterwards because I still pretended that I was the same person in high school. I got benefits after that fight, literally. Not only did I not land a single hit, I dealt with the same amount of pain, and I didn't get nearly as much of a reward out of it. So thank you, the older brother, Christopher Movie, for voicing Giovanni, literally. So that was his portion of the video. So he wanted me to say that to let me know, like, literally, that's his input, and he knows that there's more to life to winning and stuff like that, and that's why he said that for distraction, because he was so mad. Literally, it's really humiliating. That's a part of emotion. That's one half of roasting. Roasting and fighting is really collective. Like, yo, I just flipped your fucking foundation. You just tried to do something, and I did what you tried to do correctly. Like, literally, I just reposted what you tried to do. That's the same fucking thing. Like, literally, how you flip foundations or roast is the same thing. Like, how you deal with the same amount of humiliation. So on to Uncle Jay's video. Uncle Jay wanted me to say literally that he learned how to be a top class gangster. He learned how to be Ice-T, Snoop D-O Double G, and he learned how to be a top-class gangster when everybody else moved on. You see, Uncle Jay had a really interesting storyline. They kind of say that he was the me of the family that really went all out and tried to be like a criminal, trying to really make a name for himself. Because what Uncle Jay was, he showed me this movie called Coolie High. If you haven't watched Coolie High, that's literally when back in the day when all these black guys were wearing turtlenecks with glasses and shit, literally fucking making out with girls in their apartments, skipping school to make out with girls and shit, literally going to the fucking zoo, literally with no fucking ticket and shit, and getting like literally thrown out them by a gorilla and shit. Like, Coolie High was fucking funny and shit. The fucking Lily, he just got done making out with a fucking girl. He went to the zoo, he started talking shit to the gorilla. The gorilla fucking threw shit at his shirt. He was fucking crazy as fuck. He was crazy. No, my Uncle Jay used to show me shit like that. He used to show me Superfly and everything. It was fucking crazy. But Lily fucking no, Lily. His whole story is that he wanted to be just like the guys in Cooley High, and so he used to hang out with them. Lily, he used to hang out with the guys. I want to join you. He's like, Sonny, we don't want you being here. You're hot. You're gonna advertise and shit. And Lily, so he trained his heart. He wanted to be just like the guys back in the day. So imagine Lily, that was his version of the Platinum Boys. My Uncle Jay wanted to be just like the people from the older generation. I want to be just like you, like Lily. I want to be Lily. This like he wanted to Lily make a name for himself so fucking badly. He got out with the kids Lily to a point where he got caught where fucking a hair picking his fucking afro, and he tried to label it a lesson. He's really went through some top class fucking shit, and he's from Chicago and shit. When their crime rate is way fucking worse than California, it's really fucking crazy, you know. So that is how I scale fucking my life and stuff like that. So that is why he is Jiraiya of this world, because Chicago is really mega top tier where it comes to this fucking world and shit. So Lily, fucking Uncle Jay is top class and shit. So like Lily, fucking Naruto. I was born in fucking the elite village, Bay Area, and Lily, I got teachings from the guy who's actually been through a war and shit. Jiraiya, Uncle Sonny, you get what I'm saying? He's from Chicago, that advances street knowledge, you know, it all pans out. It's crazy. Literally, so this is a reference to my girl Zero Mashima, Makinami, Zero Mashima. It's the same fucking account, fucking different name. People kept on hacking my girl and shit, so literally, that's who the same fucking person is. So literally, this is Zero. So if you don't know the story about me and Zero, I pulled Zero because literally I was popular, but I was also a nice person. So literally, so I got on Zero on Instagram and stuff like that, so I started talking to Zero, and I called her a bitch and shit, and see women shit. Of course she's gonna let me call her a bitch. I'm motherfucking Todoroki and shit. So of course she's like literally just like, she allowed all that shit to happen. See, literally fucking Lily, I'm crazy as fuck Lily where it comes to like Lily be getting in that ass. I'm telling you, fucking you don't understand. So like Lily fucking. So Zero was my girl and shit, and Lily, but she was my girl among girls. This is after I got away of grabbing over 300 asses at a fucking con. This is after I pulled Nerf and Pito. This is after I fucking, you know, basically pulled Carver. This is after I pulled level. This is when I'm at the top of my fucking career, where I just got done with the Toroki shit, and then I get fucking Zero and shit. So Zero comes like Lily when you have a whole bunch of girlfriends like Lily. See, it's Lily. She is fucking third base like Lily. Fucking, I've been to many conventions and had many girlfriends before her, but she stood up above the rest, because you know, right, Zero is one of the smartest of my girls, and Lily, I'm gonna make her a profile video later on, but Zero is really one of my best girls, and she came late, but she was still really strong, and she still has something different defining her as a character. You get what I'm saying? Like, she's at Layla status, but she's from a region. Like, imagine like Lily, fucking what she is she's kind of like, you know, she's a Kage that lives in a foreign village, basically. Like, literally, she's she's high tier where it comes to my girls, but I rarely get to talk about her because, you know, like, she's far away. She's not as close as Bree, but she's of the same fucking level as Bree. She's even higher than Bree. Zero is higher than Bree where it comes to, but I barely get to hang out with her and shit. So you get what I'm saying? So like, Lily, so what happened is Uncle Jay went to prison, went in and out, finally learned how to fucking be a gangster after all his friends got caught overdosing on drugs and fucking dying. So he learned how to be everything that he wanted to be at a late age where it wasn't shit, and he wanted me to tell you guys that Lily, he went all out and he gave himself street cred at a point where it didn't matter, just like my brother, like Lily, and that's the whole fucking point. He was in the real world now. He was lacking jobs now. He can only get a security job and shit like Lily. It was crazy as fuck on Lily. So what happened was this, so like he learned how to fight, he learned how to bench over 300 and stuff like that. He really worked hard. He had his own storyline, and yeah, so like to the naked eye, he was the fucking shit, but he knew he was in the now each and every time, and that's why he would pull some Bernie Mac shit with me, but fucking he would pull some very back shit with me, but like Lily, he had a friend named Scott, like Lily, so fucking me, him, and Scott were like Lily went to go watch fucking daycare and shit. And so Lily, as soon as we got home, he's like, you know what we're about to go home and do? We're about to do Uncle daycare, take out the trash. You know, Lily, fucking. And so Scott calls me out of fucking nowhere. And so like, you know what Scott's problem is? Like my Uncle Snake was talking shit. He's like, Lily, Uncle Jay was talking shit about Scott and shit. And Lily, he's like, you know what, you fucking, you know Scott's problem is Scott was telling me about fucking the minerals and the fucking planet Earth and shit, and like freaking how we're so into making buildings and shit, and I come back with Lily this, I'm like, what you guys talking about, some pussy? And so Lily, Scott calls me on the fucking phone. Scott calls me, Lily, he's talking to Scott, he's like, hey yo Eris, you wanna talk to Scott? And so I talk to Scott on the fucking phone and shit. I'm like, hey, how's it going, Scott, and stuff like that. He's like, hey Eris, I know you were trying to watch that movie. He's like, Eris, can you do me a favor? When you grow up, I want you to kick Sully's ass. No, but you don't understand, like, Scott's an actual nice person. Scott is a perversion and shit like that. Like, Scott is an actual guy with morals. You think that shit is funny? Well, it is, but at the same time, No. Scott knows about games and shit like that. Scott knows to stay away from women and shit. He really made a life for himself, collecting cans and shit, like making ornaments out of cans, really taking advantage of what the real world has to offer and shit. And Sonny always comes back with sexy shit, and that's why he said like Sonny's being immature, even though it may seem like he's telling Scott to man up. Oh, Scott's being a faggot and this and that. That's a stereotype, buddy. No, Scott's really a multi-dimensional individual and shit. He's like, Sonny is such a piece of shit, Earth. I really want you to fuck him up for you grow up. No. Scott's being serious, because Scott's being multi-dimensional and Sonny's being one-dimensional talking about pussy. You get it? He takes advantage of the fact that he's soft-spoken. He's like, no, I like life for what it is. But the whole moment, so this all ties back into Zero and everything. That shit's cool, that shit's funny, like, you know, so you don't hold it against him. He was a man that was, like, you know, critically ill at one moment of his life. Literally, a fucking, you know, fucking a retired drug addict and shit. So, like, literally fucking, like, you know, that shit is crazy. So, like, Uncle Jay literally was literally out there and shit like that. So, like, literally, the crazy thing about it is this. So, imagine, like, you fucking being Ray Romano and shit like that. Like, literally, imagine you being a high tier, like an over 60 guy from the older generation that used to do all that samurai jack shit. And like literally, so Uncle Sonny learned how to clear a bar. He learned how to like literally fucking do the after image. He learned how to do a whole lot of shit in the military. He definitely knew how to fight. He definitely knew how to punch people through walls and shit. Literally, it's just not literally. He definitely knew how like fucking he would be on some crazy shit. Literally, I remember Jonathan's mother literally fucking sent somebody to fuck me up in my house. Literally, I was drunk, I was laying on the couch and shit, and he started springing at me. So I started like literally fucking moving my hand and shit. And I blocked each and every fucking punch and shit. Literally, and then I get back up and shit. Literally, I slipped for a little bit, but I still fucking grabbed my face and shit. It's like literally fucking literally. I was hanging out for a second literally. I was dodging fucking the punches like literally. Nigga, you thought you were hitting me, but you fucking weren't. My Uncle Jay was like funny as fucking. Fucking, it's like literally, I was off guard because I was drunk and shit. If I was staying the whole time, I went on there thick. Now that shit's fucking beautiful. Like literally, how he says that shit is amazing. But at the same time, you gotta think of it like this: you learned how to clear a bar where I already had zero. That means you learned how to do something that was completely meaningless to something I already had. I already have somebody who loves me for who I fucking am, and you finally learned how to be a street fighter. That's why being a gangster is based off juvenile shit and stuff like that. That's why you're stuck in the same thing. Well, guess what I did? Fucking, I didn't try to live that life literally. I got literally all the fucking lookie in my fucking early 20s where you guys are fucking 30 and up, still virgins. It's very fucking true when Uncle Jay wanted me to tell you that he literally backed up everything. He gained all the street cred that he could, but because literally he realized that he was holding on to something he should have already let go, that it wasn't worth it. He learned how to beat an entire bar. He learned how to beat everybody's ass in a bar when literally we already discarded countless shit like that, and we're understanding that they're doing all that shit out of really not having, you know, fucking, you know, somebody there to like fucking, you know, prevent you from even being in that situation. You get what I'm saying? Like literally, somebody like literally, instead of you getting in the fights, why aren't you hanging out with all your loved ones and stuff like that? Yeah, because you grown your shit all day and you learn how to be badass and throw fucking people off. And literally, that's all you can do is take it out on people and shit. It's a beautiful story. They both wanted me to tell you this fucking story and shit. It's really, really crazy. Like, nigga, I had a utopia and some more shit when you finally learned how fucking finally, like, literally, you finally made your first, like, literally feat in prison. You finally made your first achievement in prison where I already adapted to society, had literally fucking, like, multiple relationships and more shit. Ocean waves, things the game, I can play every day. They play for balls like the NBA. They say, great knives, they got lights, what's on my side? Barbecue and massive shoes, who make and food. Get their pieces to a puzzle with no food. Turn on my radio. You find out it was a new day. But the life is like something to make her go crazy. So I had to be indisputable, yeah. Her ass is nothing wonderful, and that's wonderful, and so equitable, yeah. It was despicable, but why you like me? Because I'm happy. Oh man, it's just like I was singing, hey niggas that are playing parties, and then she got on her knees, and then I put my dick